So I'm in the studio with my friend Irene Fertik, and
20 years worth.
and she's an amazing documentary photojournalist. Is that a good title for you?
Amazing is great.
Now, you have a show that has traveled internationally,
Yeah.
and it kind of represents your passion as a photographer. Can you speak briefly about that show and why you have been so passionate about this subject?
Yes, sir. For 20 years now, I've been photographing a new community in Israel. Ethiopian Jews who actually have just passed their 33rd anniversary as a group in Israel. Some came before that, most came after 33 years ago. There are now about 155,000 Ethiopian Jews in Israel. And the reason I became interested is significant, I guess. My whole life I've been documenting issues for justice, fairness, and humanity. And in the 60s, I was, for a good 10 years, photographing the civil rights movement. I lived in New York City. They used to call me a subversive because, a lot of journalism on a newspaper is very mainstream. But thank God you can say more with an image and get away with it than you can writing. So I was very happy that I could say as much as I did through my camera lens. Anyway, at that point I had heard about Ethiopian Jews being airlifted to Israel in the late 80s. And
Now, are you Jewish?
Yes. I was raised Jewish, mostly in a cultural, secular way. Don't go to synagogue. But my values, my ethics, I'd have to say, watching my parents, is very humanistic, and which to me means issues of justice are important. The value of the common man as opposed to, people up there. And when I started photographing, which was in the mid-60s, right away I said, wow, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to be. Because, I could say and put my camera on people and explore what I wanted and be inspired. And there's a journalistic, I think it started with Pulitzer, who said we journalists want to inform, inspire, and through that process try to change.
Why do you care?
Why do I care? It's a great question. I guess it has to do with my Jewish upbringing, where I care deeply about the state of people, our society. And I feel, as does Leroy, that certainly you cannot sit back if you're a thinking, feeling person and want to not put in your 2 cents and help the way you can best. And the way I can best is through my camera. And I realized since I started, I've always been a social activist with a camera, a visual sociologist, if you will. I majored in sociology in college, and was always interested in documenting the common man.
If you could say something to young photographers out there with a passion for documenting life,
Okay.
can you draw from your life experience and give them a message to inspire them to do it?
Well, I don't want to inspire them to do it. That has to come from within, because there are so many roadblocks, failures, rejections. If you are not totally passionate and inspired on your own, forget it. You ain't going to get anywhere. Aside from competition, there are, natural stumbling blocks. Getting a project that no one else has thought of, that you can do really good. You have to really eat it, dream about it, want it more than anything, and put that energy in there and stick with it. A lot of it is just old-fashioned blood, sweat, and tears. It really is. But sticking with it is really at the top, because there will be so many failures and chances that have been missed and rejections along the way. If you're not really passionate, don't get it. Don't do this. It's not for you. You might say it's the same with any art form. But, photography is so exciting on its own. Yeah, be a scenic photography. Be a wild animal photographer if you want. But as a documentary photographer who's shooting the human condition, you really have to be prepared for all the negatives and still go out and get it.